right after lunchtime. So I think through your commute home, you're going to have some issues getting around town with not just heavy downpours, but some loud thunderstorms. So you asked about canceled plans, Cheryl. I think any of the kiddos' practices, those will likely be postponed. Notice tomorrow, pretty high-end rain chances as well, but the timeline shifts up. So I think it's going to be an issue for the morning commute through about lunchtime. And then again on Friday, it's mainly going to be for the first part of the day. Live look at the Gulf Freeway looking back towards downtown, and you'll notice we're all seeing thick cloud cover. Some of us are seeing shower activity, so along the coastline we're tracking some heavy rain. We're tracking that for east siders as well, but IAH is staying nice and dry right now at 84 degrees. It's 84 in Pearland for the lunch hour as well. Here's a live look at radar. So yes, showers along the coastline working their way up 288 Freeport to Angleton, and then for the southeast side of the loop and the beltway, there's rain, and there is 1 or 2 thunderstorms out there. So just 5 lightning strikes over the last 10 minutes. Very different from yesterday, right around 4. I was counting 400 lightning strikes. So yes, much different setup, but we still get the chance for some heavy downpours. Right now we've seen some rain move from Galena Park, now trying to work its way towards downtown. So we're downtown at the Avenida Studios, and we're going to see some showers here, I'd say, in the next 30 minutes. You'll notice we've got the potential for some isolated street flooding or some high water spots. It's the low threat today, a 1 on the 1 to 4 scale, but definitely keep an eye out on the underpasses or poor drainage areas in your neighborhood too. Notice the rain is going to keep funneling in from the Gulf Coast all the way through 4, potentially 5 o'clock through your commute home. Like I said, might be a little bit of a mess. Then an isolated shower even into this evening is mainly going to favor the Gulf Freeway. So if you had plans to head down to League City, for example, that's where you might have a slowdown. Tomorrow morning, like I said, that's when we're going to have some issues. So the commute to work instead of the commute back home from work is going to be the time frame that we see the heaviest rainfall. And then again, for your Friday, it's rinse and repeat. We're going to wind up with an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain by the time the week is all said and done. Now, I think the ones that end up on this green side will be just fine, but those isolated yellow spots could be the ones that have some isolated street flooding concerns. Notice we got plenty of tropical moisture that's sitting in the Gulf, and that's what's fueling our daily rain chances. But luckily, this is just a wide area of rotation. Nothing is organized, and nothing is expected to develop in the tropics over the next 7 days, which is fantastic because, as we know, it's hurricane season. Now, tropical moisture comes not only by way of downpours, but by way of some pretty thick humidity. That is definitely what we have in store for today and through the rest of the week. So I got to show you this, the differentiator between the actual air temperature and the heat index. So it's 84 at IAH, but it feels like 91. The feeling is in the low 90s for Conroe and for Sugar Land too. So don't just keep the umbrella, but keep hydrated. I have been drinking my coconut water to get those electrolytes in. Notice the 7-day forecast. You've got daily rain chances, but the rain does start to lighten up as we head into next week. So if you're thinking about doing something this week or next, I'd say, well, hold off until Monday. That's looking a little bit more isolated rather than scattered heavy downpours, Cheryl. Downpours, we've got frequent flashes of lightning, and this isn't just along the immediate coastline, but this is pushing into the heart of the city, which is why we are watching those delayed flights. You'll notice the number of lightning strikes actually has reduced, but it just takes a couple in the area for those planes to have to take a pit stop and flights get delayed. You'll notice you want to check that out before you head out and try to catch your flight. The rainfall rate right now is what's most interesting to me. We've got some really tropical downpours. I'm talking about big, heavy raindrops that are going to make it hard to see, like a wall of water, very similar to what we saw yesterday. And this is continuing to push east to west. So very soon we're going to start to see some more shower activity developing for the villages, for the Galleria. You'll notice Hobby Airport all along Airport Boulevard has that heavy rainfall, and some of that shower activity has pushed now past 288 and is headed towards 90, riding along the Sam Houston Tollway. For now, the Heights is in the clear, but like I said, I think you are going to get some shower activity here in the next 30 minutes. We've got the thread for some isolated high water spots, some localized street flooding. That's a 1 on the 1 to 4 scale. There's technically no severe threat. However, it's Houston, and so I would just keep a really close eye on our updates. And if we see a strong storm pop up, which they occasionally do, we'll make sure that you know about it before you head outside. 84 degrees right now. We're down by 2 compared to this time yesterday, but Cheryl, there's lots of humidity out there regardless of the rain, so the feeling is in the 90s as you step outside for lunch. And it's pretty much the same as it was yesterday. There are going to be some areas that we monitor. If we get a quick 1 to 2 inches in a short amount of time, we will flag you as to which areas to avoid. Notice rain is peaking already now through the commute back home. I think our rain potential does go down by this evening. It'll be a little bit more isolated. So 1 or 2 neighborhoods might see some rain, but the rest of us shouldn't. A 40% chance for storms all in all today. That high temperature pushes to 89. We're still in the upper 80s for our Friday and our Saturday, and those rain chances are hanging on, perhaps even increasing a little bit. All in all, we have a potential for seeing shower activity each and every day. Just the timeline shifts a little bit. So for today, it's mainly for the afternoon hours. So right now, lunchtime and through the commute. So 4 or 5 o'clock, notice showers are going to be parked right along I-10 Katy Freeway, which is where, well, a lot of us commute to and from. Notice the showers start pushing to our northern cities and counties by the time we're having dinner, and as we're heading to bed, an isolated storm perhaps along the Gulf Freeway possible. Then rain comes back into the forecast tomorrow, but a little bit earlier. So this is the timeline shift I was talking about. So the commute into work looks to be messy, and we could have some scattered storms even into the commute back home. I do think the heaviest rain, though, is going to happen for the first part of the day tomorrow, and then the same thing on Friday. I think early morning storms are going to be present. Here's a live look at radar. So I've been tracking lightning strikes. Not all that impressive, but I do hear some thunder out there. So perhaps this lightning detector is being a little bit faulty with me right now. Beaumont Place is where I'm tracking the heaviest rain, down to Oates Prairie, East Houston, Scenic Woods. But notice there are multiple spots with some pretty significant downpours. Some headed towards Missouri City, others parked right near Hobby Airport. That is an area that we are monitoring. I'll have a closer look after I showed you the rain that's just passed downtown and starting to scoot up towards the Heights. If you were planning on going for that Memorial Loop walk right now, I would say skip it because you're about to get rained on too. Hobby Airport, moderate showers and then some heavier rain starting to push in the next 10 minutes or so. IAH though is looking good. In case you're flying out of there, you shouldn't see any trouble. Current temperatures at the big airport, 84 degrees. With the humidity, it feels like 91. Notice there's ample humidity for today all the way through the rest of the week. This is a lot of tropical moisture that is bringing us a feeling that is much hotter than our temperature actually reads. So here's a side-by-side comparison between the temperature and what it feels like. So right now, look at Hobby, 74, and it feels like 74. There's some rain-cooled air happening right now, but where there isn't any rain, there's plenty of heat. 85 in Sugar Land actually feels like 92. Notice we're going to accumulate an additional 1 to maybe 3 inches of rain by the time the week is done, and that's because we continue to funnel in a lot of this moisture that is parked over the Gulf. This is technically tropical moisture, but the nature of it is very important, and this is not organized. So it is a very broad area of rotation that is slinging in some moisture here to southeast Texas. But the good news is without any organization, there's no tropical development. So we do not expect to see that in the Atlantic Basin over the next 7 days. 7-day forecast locally will be active regardless. Notice daily rain chances through your weekend. I'm hopeful that by